Okay guys, it's that time again. Saturday night. Last Saturday we covered deadly creatures or something like that. Sharks, sorry. This week, as promised, I've dug out the Toxic Creatures book here. The beautiful cover. And just to let you know guys, I am reeling from a cold, so a little bit croaky, a little bit of a sore throat. This comes from Romero, Reyes and Tania, Garcia. You may hear some actual animal sounds in the background of Mr. Chunk licking his hind legs and of guinea pigs munching on hay. So we will skip to the good parts. Try and bring you some nice page turning sounds as we proceed. Here are the categories of creatures. We all love a good toxic animal, don't we? Watching them in action. We have a fabulous range here, including some mammals. Okay, so let's go for here. There we go. Greetings from Cambridge, thank you. I did study in Cambridge at Anglia Ruskin back in the day. But moving on, we have poison dart frogs, small, deadly, brightly coloured. Some of the most poisonous animals in the world, in tropical rainforests of Central and South America. And you can see some of the fabulous patterns, or shall we say, warning signs that scream to nearby creatures, stay away, I'm going to cause you some problems if you ingest me. So the Ambra Wanan people of Colombia traditionally use the toxin from these frogs to poison the tips of the blowgun darts, which they use for hunting. Tiny but bright. So small but pack a punch. Why so dangerous? Well, the bodies of these frogs contain toxin, is that? A very poisonous substance. It is not made by the frogs themselves, and it may come from the rainforest insects they eat. Fascinating. The most dangerous member of the family is the golden dart frog. It's probably the most toxic species on Earth. One frog could kill 10 to 20 adult humans. Absolutely fascinating. So that's our South American frog. They're very cute, aren't they? And has anybody seen the film Apocalypto, where his jaguar paw is being hunted and he picks one of these up by the toe, and I think he coats his little blow darts, so I'm sure you handle them by the feet. Nevertheless, that's not something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. Page 8 to 9 is about venomous mammals. I bet you didn't realise there are some mammals that are venomous. We have the slow loris here. This big old animal is the only venomous primate in the world, and it is endangered. It says here it's a good idea not to pet this cute looking animal with the big eyes. When they are threatened, it raises its arms above its head and quickly licks its armpits. The glands under its arms produce a venomous sweat-like liquid. when it mixes with the saliva, it becomes even more powerful. It delivers the venom by biting. You can also rub it on its fur. It is interesting, but it says it's not deadly to humans. It can cause some localized swelling. It's a fascinating creature here, the platypus. It has different features from different animal categories. One of two mammals that lay eggs. They have venomous spurs on their back feet. The spurs are used only during the breeding season, when the males fight over females. The venom is strong enough to kill a dog, and is very painful to humans. Up here, the common vampire bat. For those with a fear of Dracula, this is one for you. It got its name because it drinks the blood of mammals, including cows and sheep. Hunts at night, crawling on all fours, approaching its prey. It clings onto them and bites through the skin with its razor-sharp teeth. The saliva contains a mild venom which stops the blood from clotting while it's feeding. It's fascinating, isn't it? Right, coral and, pardon me if I pronounce this wrong, anemones. So, in my opinion, not the most stimulating of toxic creatures. A gang of stingers includes corals, anemones, and jellyfish. Their bodies all contain special stinging cells, which are called cnidocytes, silent C perhaps. And there are the ecosystem containing such creatures. Toxic birds. The hooded pichui. This one here. The blue-capped ifrit. Fascinating. The bird hunters of New Guinea also avoided the blue-capped ifrit. The Kairon and Simbai people call it the bitter bird. When the ifrit is eaten, its meat creates a burning sensation that feels like an extremely strong chili pepper. So a couple of birds there. Okay, look at this guy. This is the Gila Monster. Gila monsters are lizards that live in the deserts of Mexico and the southwest United States. Okay, these cold-blooded creatures have thick skins covered in bead-like bumps. This type of skin was common among dinosaurs but is rare among modern reptiles. This is an interesting one, isn't it? So they are cold-blooded. They have been called the crawling contradiction. They live in the desert, but their ancestors come from tropical places, so their skin needs moisture. This means they don't seem well suited to desert life, but somehow they manage to survive there. They can usually survive a whole year on just 3 meals, usually eggs or baby mammals. They can eat 50% of their body weight in one go. They store fat in their thick tails. They can use their bladders to store enough water to survive up to 90 days. And of course, they have a venomous bite. The Gila Monster has powerful jaws and razor-sharp teeth. Its venom flows down grooves in the side of its teeth. Its chewing bite is very painful but rarely fatal to humans. So they're 90% of their time underground. Come out during the day in springtime and at night in the rainy season. In the spring they gather together to find a mate. Very beautiful creature. You can see these little bead-like bumps. Very fascinating. Here's a stunning creature, albeit probably more intelligent than most humans on our planet. We have an octopus. This is the greater blue-ringed octopus. You can see these beautiful rings with the double coating there. It lives in the shallow waters of the Indian and Pacific Oceans. It's as big as a golf ball and usually pretty shy. It stays close to the rocky crevices where it lives, only coming out to feed or mate. Its skin is covered in colour-changing cells called chromatophores, which it uses to camouflage itself. So you've probably seen these on wildlife videos, the camouflaging octopus. It prefers to go unnoticed. And we have an interesting fact here. Blue alert. When the blue-ringed octopus is threatened, however, it goes through a transformation. It stops imitating the brown rocks around it and switches on its glowing blue rings, flashing them on and off like an amazing light show. The blue rings are a message to predators that means I'm toxic, stay away. It is one of the most venomous sea creatures. Its deadly venom comes from bacteria that live in the octopus's saliva glands. A bite from the horny beak of the octopus is painless, but can kill a human in minutes. So guys, this is one to avoid if you are swimming in one of those oceans, the Indian or Pacific. You want to come back out of the ocean alive. Okay, snakes. Love them or hate them. I guess I'm somewhere in the middle. Probably lean more towards dislike, but it's not to say we can't show appreciation and respect. So it says snakes are often the first animal that comes to mind when people think about venom. Important symbols in many cultures, in Greek mythology, the god of healing and medicine. In Christian tradition, snakes are linked with the ideas of darkness and temptation. In Buddhism, they are a symbol of protection, and Hinduism, they represent life, death and rebirth. So almost like a ring, mouth to tail, I'm guessing. This is the inland taipan, also known as the fierce snake. It has the most toxic venom of any snake. So that's your answer to the most toxic snake in the world, the inland taipan. It specialises in hunting mammals and its bite is fatal to humans. Fortunately, it lives only in the remote deserts of central Australia and is very rare. I believe I have an African snake over here. This is the black mamba. It's quite a ubiquitous snake. In terms of knowledge, at least, the black mamba is fast and good at climbing. Its venomous bite can easily kill a human. It lives in the bushlands of Central Africa. It can reach a length of 4 metres and a speed of 15 kilometres an hour. Venom is powerful and causes many deaths in places where the antidote is not available. It's quite thick pages. Oh, we have more snakes. That is a unique one there, isn't it? But we have the king cobra. If this adopts this, what's the word? Stance, if you like, position when threatened, where the hood comes out. Absolutely beautiful snake. And as you probably know, cobras eat other snakes. Imagine a snake charmer playing a pipe and a hooded snake rises out of a basket. You're picturing one of the most famous snakes on earth, the king cobra. They are the longest of all venomous snakes. Their venom is powerful enough to kill an adult elephant with a single bite. Now that is potent. The Belcher's sea snake. Worst nightmare for those who dislike snakes. They are even found swimming around your feet. Belcher's sea snake is very venomous but also fairly shy. It is found on coral reefs and feeds by ambushing other sea creatures. Although it lives in the ocean, it can't breathe underwater, but it can spend up to 8 hours below the surface before coming up for air. That's fascinating. The snake is hunted in Thailand and Vietnam, where it is a popular ingredient in soups, drinks and traditional medicines. Most people bitten by it are fishermen or snake handlers. It has a very beautiful and very distinct pattern. Okay, we have jellyfish, something you definitely want to avoid in the ocean. We have here the Australian box jellyfish with a ghastly appearance and tentacles up to 3 metres long. It may be the most deadly jellyfish in the world. Its sting causes terrible pain and often death. Scientists have found an antidote to the jellyfish's venom by studying the genes in human cells and observing how they are affected by the venom. We have the Pacific sea nettle here. It spreads its tentacles like a net and drifts along, waiting for its next meal. The frilly white tentacles in its centre are called oral arms and are used to carry prey to its mouth. Its sting is painful but not deadly to humans. So that might be a new one for you there, the Pacific sea nettle. So if you hear that, you'll know it's a jellyfish. I'm sure you've all heard of the Portuguese man of war as well, another famous jellyfish. Okay, we have some toxic fish. It's interesting to learn about these. Now the stonefish I did recently see a video on TikTok of somebody handling one of these guys somehow. It certainly wasn't me. These are the guys that camouflage themselves on the seabed, and they have these sharp, poisonous spines. So I do know a little bit about the stonefish, but it also attacks at lightning speed, so it is an ambush predator. They live in the Indian and Pacific Oceans and are the most venomous fish on the planet. 13 spikes down the back that work like a syringe, so you are in trouble if you tread on one of those. Have the funny old pufferfish there. Okay, now these are facts you probably know. They are eaten in Japan. It's tricky to remove the poison, however, so only the most skilled chefs can cook this dangerous meal. And of course, this one at the top is actually threatening to the local ecosystems. That is the lionfish, where their populations are rising. And that is the Indian Pacific Ocean, and are now invading other sea areas because they have so few predators. Although humans do eat lionfish, if they are prepared and cooked correctly. Moving on. Ants. What are your thoughts on ants? Love them? Hate them? They are certainly admired for their teamwork and pound for pound strength. They are civilized soldiers. These insects live in social groups, with each ant having a different job to do. They look after each other, and they are able to solve complex problems by working together. So we have the giant red bull ant, we have the bullet ant here, and the lemon ant. That might be a new one for you. Lemon ants make a poison that kills most plants that grow in the Amazon rainforest. This creature's clear patches in the forest known as devil's gardens. The only plants that survive in these clearings are called myriamecophytes, which means ant plants. These plants grow special hollow pods on their stems where the ants can live, breed, and grow fungus to eat. The plants and the ants survive by protecting each other. That is known as a symbiosis. Now this ant, believe it or not, 3 centimetres long, jagged mandibles, and a venomous sting. Unlike most ants, red bull ants don't use chemicals to sense the world. However, they are one of the few ant species with very good eyesight. We have the bullet ant. Their sting is said to feel like being shot like a bullet. I'm sorry if I come across your girlfriend in this book. Apologies. If it feels threatened, a single bullet ant will attack. At the same time, it releases a chemical signal that tells other ants to start stinging. Yes, I quite agree. Humans are much worse. Okay guys, for the arachnophobes, please look away now, close your eyes and ears, and come back in about 3 minutes, because we certainly have, love them or hate them, spiders. And I must say, I do have a fear of spiders, particularly of the Brazilian wandering spider. This is probably the most aggressive spider you can encounter. These large spiders are found in Central and South America. They belong to a genus called Phoenaturia, which means murderess in Greek. They are called wandering spiders because they don't live in webs or burrows, unless you can see them coming. Instead, they wander the forest hunting for food. When threatened, they lift up their front 4 legs to show off their colours and make themselves look bigger. Their venom may have important medicinal uses and has been studied for over 60 years. We have the Sydney funnel web spider there. No signs of the black widow. And in this country, one of the reasons I very rarely go near bananas in supermarkets, unless the shelf is decimated, it is in case one of these things is lurking in the bananas that have been transported to the UK. And there have been stories of these things and other spiders travelling with the yellow stuff, the yellow cargo. So just beware when picking bananas in the supermarket. Right, I'm sure you've all seen videos on TikTok of the tarantula and wasp. The wasp usually wins by immobilising the spider and then laying the eggs within its cavity. So we'll move on from that page. That's a little bit gross. Okay, we have scorpions. Scorpions are not insects. They belong to the arachnids, like spiders. They've been around for 435 million years and have adapted to live in some of the toughest environments on Earth. I don't know much about scorpions, but we have the emperor scorpion. They have huge claws. It's native to West Africa. It's not fierce and mostly uses its pincers for self-defense. Only young emperor scorpions use their stingers. This scorpion mainly eats insects, especially termites, with the occasional treat of a mouse or a lizard. The Indian red scorpion here. Wow, the sting of this can be fatal to humans, particularly dangerous to children who live in the same area and might accidentally disturb it. And there's an anti-venom available. Just saying a little bit there about their deadly reputation. Unique physique. Easily recognised by 2 pincer claws at the front and a curved tail at the back, which has the venomous stinger. Interesting fact, as a general rule, the scorpions with the most powerful stingers tend to have smaller claws and vice versa. So that's scorpions for you. We've just hit the half-an-hour mark, which is nice. Nice lengthy video for you. Right, we have cone snails here. Now just take a look at these beautifully, naturally crafted cones here. You'd expect this to have been designed by an artist, but no, these are natural. Deadly seashells by the seashore. I'm having trouble reading this from my position due to the contrast. A sea snail that hides inside a beautifully patterned shell. The cone snail lives in tropical and subtropical waters near coral reefs. Although it may look innocent, it has a powerful venom and a harpoon-like tooth that it uses to sting its prey, or any careless beach visitor who might get too close. Right, a toxic cocktail. So the venom of cone snails is unique. Each cone snail species produces about 500 toxic chemicals. I'm only really wearing the suit just to hold the microphone. It does work nicely. There are around 500 known species of cone snails. That makes roughly 250,000 unique recipes for venom that interact with the body in different ways. Scientists are studying them because some could be very useful in medicinal treatments. It says up here, cone snails are predators, but their bodies are slow and clumsy. A fast and deadly attack is the key to survival. When they detect the scent of prey, they stretch out a long hollow tube with a sharp harpoon on the end. Where are we? I'm struggling to read this, the background. Venom travels down the tube and fills the harpoon. Sea creatures hit by the harpoon are immediately paralysed. If they are small enough, the cone snail will swallow them whole. So I really need to look at some videos on these guys and how they operate. Don't know much about cone snails. Okay guys, I think that's it. This just talks a little bit about the difference between poisonous, toxic. Interesting facts about a toxinologist. And antivenoms and how they're made. There's a little poison dart frog there, so you can get a picture of how small these guys are. Now, there was an interesting page I did notice somewhere. Not sure if it's here. I thought there was a little quiz in this book. No, maybe not. Anyway, here are some lovely terms to leave you with. That's the last bit of ASMR. Antivenom, arachnids, carnivore, chromatophores, nidocytes, domestic animal, gland herbivore, immune invertebrate, Irkandji syndrome, is it? Larvae, oral arms, paralyze, parasite, poaching, predator, prey, saliva, smuggler, symbiosis, taxonomy, toxin, toxinologist, venom, vertebrate, and zootoxin. So I was pretty sure there was a quiz somewhere. Must have been a different book. Anyway guys, I am just in the process of recovering from my cold. It's been a rough week. It started with a head cold and then it became a sore throat and a horrible cough today. So somehow we've got through it without me coughing all over your face. Special thanks to the authors here. I may link the book in the description if you're interested in purchasing it, if it's on Amazon. And that's just a little bit of the inner cover, which I didn't show you. Okay guys, thank you for spending your Saturday evening with me. I'll see you tomorrow.